Ho ho ho, happy holidays. The views expressed on this podcast are that of the host, and not Santa's. Please stay out of the Mojave Desert Mountains and save yourself a probing from the little gray elves. They come in peace, but will leave you in little pieces. For your listening enjoyment, put on your best holiday tinfoil hat, turn on all the Christmas lights, and stare at the elf on the shelf. Lastly, the UFO talk is explicit and full of holiday cheery goodness. May the mistletoe be with you. Let's get the show started, fuckers.
This is the Tempest universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
This is actually my third attempt to start this episode, but welcome to Tempest Universe. I'm your host, Manny, and we are going to have a bit of a short episode today. Okay, it is the day before Thanksgiving here in the U.S., and I guess everywhere where they might want to just, vicariously live through the pilgrims and celebrate it as well. Turkey Day tomorrow, so got a lot of work to do. Strange, right? You're supposed to be celebrating stuff, and you got all this work to do on your day off. Nonetheless, I thank you guys for listening. Like I said, it's going to be a little short because the UFO stories are non-existent. Other than, it seems like people are not taking the government writing laws lightly regarding UAPs, but we'll get to that in a second. And actually, we actually have Bigfoot stories. There's 2 stories about Bigfoot. I'm so surprised. I don't even know why, because that's the world we live in. We like to publicize the unexplainable. But Bigfoot's on track for today. There's 2 incidents that we want to talk about, and all coming from Minnesota. So you guys up in Minnesota, what the hell is going on? What's really going on? This year, we had a little current event. Not so current, it was over the summer. But still, there's not too many Bigfoot stories in the current events, if you will. But we got one. We actually got 2, because there was one that predated that, which kind of makes you think about this area in Minnesota. What the hell's going on over there? What are you feeding your kids? Because you're feeding them all kind of stuff and letting them run loose. Little hairy bastards. Anyway, as I said before, we are going to continue our little holiday bliss. So, buckle up. Settle down. I know you're feeling a little sleepy because you've had a little bit too much to eat today. But enjoy this Christmassy, wintry holiday type of song.
Cheer, but now I got
first story kind of caught me by surprise because I was getting all these notifications about a Falcon 9 and a DART mission taking off, but it was a little too late for me. Like, I missed the whole thing, but I caught the replay. So if you were on out in the Pacific time zone at 10:21 p.m., you witnessed the Vandenberg U.S. Space Force base launch of the Falcon 9 rocket, which actually contained the DART payload. Now, I had to look at what the hell DART was because I couldn't remember what it stood for, but it's the Double Asteroid Redirection Test. This mission is something we talked about a long time ago because we heard about this probably about a year or two ago when they were first talking about it. But it is basically a vending machine sized craft that's being sent on a 10-month journey and about 11 million kilometers away from the planet. And it took off this, I don't know, I guess it depends where you live, but it took off last night if you were in Pacific Standard Time. The craft is actually supposed to take itself and careen into an asteroid to try to adjust its trajectory using pure force. And the funny thing is there are two vehicles on here. You have the vehicle that's going to make its final debut in that crash, but then there's a smaller vehicle that is about the size of a briefcase that's supposed to be taking pictures. That particular vehicle is going to be released from the DART, and about 10 days beforehand, it is actually going to record the collision and send back those images back to the planet, back to NASA, to find out if it worked. So the whole idea is, is there a possibility that we can create a craft or some kind of a process to deviate things that might be heading in a direct trajectory with the planet Earth that could be fatal to many of us or all of us, to be honest. So this is a test. This is what's going to happen. And it came out of Vandenberg, out of the Space Force area. And that's what they're trying to find out. They're going to plow this thing in at high speeds to see if they can nudge the boulder off course. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. It's something out of the movies like Armageddon. As a matter of fact, they were saying on Twitter that all of a sudden that Bruce Willis, he's trending pretty high on Twitter at the moment because of the movie Armageddon and because of the DART mission. So this is what they have in store. And, it's pretty sad we have to wait like 10 months to see if this actually works. But can we eventually dodge the big doomsday collision with the planet by having this type of a system put in? To be honest, it's pretty interesting, and I'm glad that they at least had the wherewithal to include cameras so that we can actually see. I don't know. They might not even show us what the hell is going to happen, to be honest. But at least we'll see still images because they still want to show something. So we might just see some images come back of this and see if we actually are able to divert this little asteroid to go somewhere else. This kind of tells you the kind of stuff Space Force is going to be up to, which is really good. This is one of those things where you want to be able to do, because to be honest, a lot of times when we hear about these near Earth pass-bys by these asteroids, it's a little too late. Oh, it's going to happen tomorrow. Oh, it's going to happen in the morning. They'd have to be a really significant size for them to see it from a distance. But if you could launch something like this, let's say just like this happened on a Falcon 9 rocket, the day before this thing is supposed to come by, and you refine this vehicle so it can get there a whole lot damn faster, this might just have a future as an actual, deterrent or defense ability when it comes to these far-flung asteroids going through the sky. Now, the only thing at the asteroid that they pointed this thing to, it never was on a trajectory with our planet, to be honest. This is just a fucking around mission to spend a lot of money to see if some shit works. That's what's happening. So we'll see. Now, actually, if you go on YouTube, you can actually see the launch of this all the way through until the Falcon 9 actually releases the DART payload, which is pretty cool to see. every once in a while to get on SpaceX and see something other than Starship. So the mission's on. It was a success this morning. We'll see if we, as humanity, have the technology to divert tons and tons of rock hurtling towards our planet. It's interesting nonetheless. So if you want to read more about it, check out the link in the description. I feel like this is going to be a success, but what does that mean for NASA and Space Force? Like, how much work do they really have to do if it is a success to make this a viable option to defend the planet from wayward asteroids? It's intriguing. This next article is titled "The Pentagon Announces New Group to Counter UFO Threat." This last couple of weeks, that's all we've heard about. You know, we're going to get this amendment here. We're going to pass this law there. We're going to have this kind of authorization. It's going to be the fiscal year this and fiscal year that. Apparently, the Department of Defense is not waiting for any damn amendments, any fiscal anything. They decided that they're just going to get their damn department together and make it happen. So we covered a story, I believe it was either Monday or last Wednesday. Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat, New York, she introduced this amendment to the fiscal year 2022 National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. And that was basically, helping transform the way the government deals with UAP/UFOs. But the Department of Defense said, no, we're not waiting. We don't give a damn about your amendment or what names you want to call. We got our own damn name. So in a memo that was released yesterday or Tuesday, depending on when you listen to this, the Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks announced that there was a new group that was going to lead the government efforts to detect, identify, and attribute objects of interest, which are formerly known as UFOs and also known as UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena. The new group, these names get worse and worse. I think this is how they confuse us. This is like their card game. This is like, they're trying to confuse us in finding out who does what, when, and how, and who shares what with who and who doesn't. The name of this particular group is now going to be the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. Who the hell came up with this? This is the worst name in history for UFOs. Really. Like, I thought ATIP was bad, but this is crazy. I mean, you can't even... What is this? Iowans? I don't know. This is apparently going to be the successor to the UAP task force, and it will be overseen by senior military and intelligence community officials, which we know that most of them are unintelligent. This is crazy. This is being done because of all... I'm sure this is in rebuttal to all these... Everybody, putting their 2 cents in. Finally, the Pentagon said, fuck you. I'm going to do this myself. Some of the things that this new group, the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, just gotta say it pretty fast, get out the way. They're going to address some of the shortfalls when it comes to the way that the issue is being studied as far as UAPs. And they're going to look at standardization because, they almost put it in their name. Almost. And they're looking to make sure that federal government and the collection and analysis is standardized across the board. That's what they want to do. That's what the UAP report said, right? That's what we needed. We needed standardization, like no more UFOs, it should be UAPs. And everyone should accept that. So that's what they're out to do. Now, according to the memo that was put out by Hicks, it said that the Navy-led UAP task force is going to immediately, as of Tuesday, transition to the new group. She also directed the Oversight Council to choose the group's acting director and submit implementation guidance on membership, responsibilities, and authorities for her approval. So she's not screwing around. She wants this done like yesterday. Oh, yeah, yesterday was Tuesday. Like Monday, the day before. So it's a crazy thing, right? So what's going to happen now with this amendment? What's going on there? Did she answer the amendment and the other amendment before it was even written into law? I don't understand. Or are we going to have another group created once the NDAA passes? It's almost like a pissing contest is happening between, these different parts of government over who's going to dictate, who's going to do what, how it's going to be managed, and who's going to define UAP for us, the public, the military, and the government. I think we have an internal feud going now. We'll see what happens after this, because once this fiscal year 2022 NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, passes, we're going to find out exactly if this particular group that was just created by the Pentagon is going to get the boot. And basically, who's the one who's going to be, as they say, waving the big UAP stick when it comes to the creation of these different organizations and, all these little groups inside the Pentagon, the government, and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they're trying to bury all of this again, put us through all kind of red tape when it comes to getting information, and essentially burying the truth as usual. We'll see what the end result in 2022 is, and who basically won the pissing contest between all these folks. The sad state of affairs, but there's more to this particular group and what else they're going to be in charge of within the description of the podcast. So have a look at it. Maybe it makes sense to somebody else, but I just see more issues on the horizon.
I see something, it's coming up on the horizon. Oh, let me clear my head and get rid of the distractions. Oh, I was down when I saw you in the clouds. Out of phase, filled with doubt. I was drifting in and out, levitate, fade away. I had left full time and space, but you just caught my eye. Hey, nah, please won't you come over? Let me get to know ya. Hey, nah, delve into emotion, leave us in this moment. Let your mind be free. Stop holding back, 'cause you can fight it. Oh, I don't know your name, but something in me has ignited. Oh, I was down when I saw you in the clouds. Out of phase, filled with doubt. I was drifting in and out, levitate, fade away. I had left full time and space, but you just caught my eye. Hey, nah, please won't you come over? Let me get to know ya. Hey, nah, delve into emotion, leave us in this moment.
I almost feel like I'm rushing through this, but Bigfoot in Minnesota is a big thing. It turns out that a camera back in 2009 captured a pretty amazing and almost strange Bigfoot image down by Remer, R-E-M-E-R, Minnesota. And the owner of this image is Tim Kudrowski and his sons Peter and Casey. So apparently they're not really big into Bigfoot stories. At the time they were what you would call skeptical about Bigfoot, but they like hunting, right? So they had set up some game trail cameras, and because they're going out there to the hunting land north of Remer, and they just happened to catch something. One of the funny things about this is that they admittedly, when they first reported this, they said, and I quote, "To us, it is very hard because we lean toward the skeptical types." they don't really buy too much of the whole Bigfoot thing, and for fuck's sake, they just happen to catch something. If you look at the image of this particular episode, that's the image that they caught on their trail camera. Fascinating. It's crazy. Completely crazy. When they caught the image, they decided, well, let's check with the neighbors and maybe any of the other hunters who might have been walking through the woods about 7:20 p.m. on that night of October 24th. And by the way, it was kind of a rainy night. So, shit, even me as a hunter, I would not give no fucks about hunting. I would not be out there in the middle of a rainy night. But they checked around, tried to figure out if maybe someone was playing a trick, little practical joke ski on the Kedrowskis. But apparently that's not what happened because no one admitted to it. And he says, listen, he considered many other ideas, according to Tim. He thought maybe it might have been a bear or maybe a bow hunter that's inside of some kind of a fuzzy suit. The problem is that when you look at this video, it doesn't look like a bear, and it sure as hell doesn't look like some little bow hunter either. Eventually, he decided to check with the Minnesota Bigfoot website, and he came across the names of Don Sherman and Bob Olson, who were part of the Northern Minnesota Bigfoot research team. When Don Sherman saw the image that the Kondrowskis sent him from their hunting trail cam, they said basically what they believed was that he caught a picture of a Bigfoot. Don Sherman went on to say that he believed that the actual Bigfoot that was caught in the image was about 7 feet tall. This is crazy. Phenomenal but crazy. There's a lot of people who are Bigfoot fanatics. And here's the image. Could this be Bigfoot? I don't know. I mean, who knows if anybody like pulled a prank on them, if maybe it was somebody who was bow hunting or whatever. But according to Don, if you look at the trees around this individual that's in the image, which could be Bigfoot, could be the captain of all the cryptids, he says by looking at those, he was able to extrapolate the height of 7 feet. Not too many 7-foot people just hanging around that would not be known by everyone in the area. I'm sure there's a lot of small towns out here in that part of Minnesota. So a lot of people will probably know someone that's 7 foot tall walking around, especially in the woods, for fuck's sake. There's a lot more to this article. But what also happened was that just recently, in the same area, there was another Bigfoot sighting. This one happened on Monday, July the 26th. The team of Bigfoot researchers were again notified of a sighting in Remer. It seems like Remer is a hotspot. Like someone should just go out there and just put on just a shitload of cameras all over. Not that they don't already, because it's a hunting area. We need some more cameras out there. This particular sighting in Remer happened July the 26th, about 9:15 p.m., and this Bigfoot, quote-unquote, creature was actually crossing and was heading east and was seen in the middle of the road by a truck driver at about 300 or 400 yards away before it moved north. The truck driver himself estimated that this particular Bigfoot or creature or whatever it was about 10 feet tall. What's going on in Minnesota? Some of the folks that were looking at the report from this truck driver about the creature were kind of stating, based on the distance that he gave, for him to think it was 10 feet tall at 300 or 400 yards, the freaking thing must have been fucking massive. Probably way more than 10 feet tall. Was this the same Bigfoot? Could this have been the same creature that was caught back in 2009? And how many more Remer, Minnesota Bigfoots are there? Or is this the same fucking person from 2009? You know, the jury is still out. The the trucker himself did not have an image captured of the Bigfoot that he saw, unfortunately. And some of these have like dash cams, and apparently this guy did not. But what an incredible find if we can actually have a correlation down in this part of Minnesota that shows that this town might be the home of a Bigfoot family. Maybe this is the area where Bigfoot gets finally the recognition he deserves to be finally caught one day and put under the microscope. Who knows? I don't even know. There's a Bigfoot probing somewhere in the near future, I guess, in Minnesota. Someone is going to get some more evidence eventually. Now, the funny thing about both stories is that it doesn't seem like anyone went to investigate these situations right after the sightings were made. And again, it's not part of the article. There are other things in here that the research group discloses, and they talk about within the articles themselves. There are 2 articles for each of these sightings, so check them out. They're in the description. And that's it for today's podcast. Like I said, it's kind of short. I hope you guys enjoy your holiday coming up. And if you're not enjoying a holiday, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. This weekend, fingers crossed, the Asgardians and myself will be working on our holiday song that we're going to butcher for you guys. And it might even be video. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. So with that, until next week, I bid you adieu and ciao as well.
Watching you undress, can't take
an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck.
This asshole.